Ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Mr. Phelps Show! Hello everyone, thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Mr. Phelps Show. Glad to have you back. We're now in our third week of our talk show, our coronavirus special edition Stay at Home and Teach talk show. And we got plenty of coffee. And today we're going to zone in on all the classes like I normally do. And we're going to potentially have an interview with Romeo Montague later on. So with that being said, I'll get right into the classes and we can start there. This time I'm going to kind of change it up. We're going to go backwards, okay? Normally I go 9, 10, 11. Today I'm going to go 11, 10, 9, okay? Just because, you know, Romeo, we're reading Romeo and Juliet in our English 9, and he's kind of like the English 9 section. Kind of want to roll all that together. So, right now, let's get into English 11. So, today in English 11 this week, you're going to be working on your social media project that was explained to you last week in last week's video, which is also posted to Google Classroom. You should know about that. If you don't, go through the PowerPoints, the PowerPoint that explains it, and then you have the template there. So complete that. You're also going to get some chapter guide. You're going to get a chapter guide for Chapter 8. Okay, I'm going to just give you 8 this week, and so you can focus on the project, and then 9 will be next week. So in the chapter guide, you're going to have a couple different things. You're going to have questions and quotes. Okay, I'm going to take out the symbolism, allusion, only because we've already done those and we've seen most of them, but also I wanted to add something different with the questions and quotes, which will be vocabulary. Okay, we did a little vocabulary with our project that we're doing, but this is going to be the bulk of the vocabulary. You're going to have a vocabulary exercise to do, and I'm doing this instead of a quiz, so you're going to get that to work on. Speaking of which, I mean, just rings a bell. Something's back. Something's back in the motion here, guys. Vocabulary, something's back. I don't think it's Julius Caesar. I mean, he's been murdered. He will be coming back on my show, but something else is up. Romeo, we know he's coming back. That's no surprise. But there's something else. Great Gatsby, we already had him on my show, but no, let me think here. Vocabulary, something's back. It's got to be Little Phelps is back. Here we go. All my peeps out of West Egg, did you hear? All my peeps out of East Egg, did you hear? All the caravansaries that tread, did you hear? The party is about to begin with the greatest showman. So put your hands together for the man of money, the greatest entertainment in all of West Egg. Put your hands together for the Great Gatsby. Alright, let me take you back to the roaring 20s where America was rich with incessant parties. You had the people from West Egg and the people from East Egg. They partied all night, didn't go to bed. At the biggest crescendo, the Gatsby homestead, it was a commensurate dream, a redolent world of Disney, Cinderella themed with colors that gleam, even though East Eggers would say it's not as great as it seems. After all, at the top of the crop, East Eggers are cream, even if the gossip that they say is just so darn mean. And through it all, the rumors spread. They got on Gatsby, said he bootlegged, went off to war, made a man dead, dead. Question is, should we believe what people said? He might be the king of West Egg, we could only presume, but over in East Egg, they call him the Scrooge. I'm not one for euphemisms, so I'll get right to the point. He's a con man who's huge, with wealth built in a subterfuge. They even said his mansion's roof was too corrugated, not properly made, not East Egg facated. I decided I'd call him Captain Nebulous. I mean, how can a guy with all these accomplishments be so credulous? He doesn't show up to his own parties. That's a little suspicious. His colossal mansion sits there. It's meretricious. It's a gaudy place outside of East Egg, a sad excuse for being ambitious. In West Egg, he is more vestige than he is sedulous. He grew up on a yacht. His name is fictitious. He's not really prodigious. He struck a gold mine and became adventitious. I know he doesn't come off as a supercilious guy. A lot of those are lies through garrulous mouths who think they're wise, but they don't watch him with a spectacled eye. I see how weird it is when he reaches for the green light in the sky. Does he not know how, no matter how much he tries, he's of an infinitesimal class and money can't buy? You should know that sometimes things aren't meant to be. I mean, how could he party with the peeps in East Egg so reliably? Seriously? He's evolved into one big notoriety, a high society wannabe who can't write home about his goodness and piety. But the biggest thing about East Egg is from the start, you're born rich. No Midas touch can turn the switch. No American dream, one would wish. But no, that's too superfluous. Because the truth is, the East Eggers, they ain't so magnanimous. They're prig-natured and truculent, calamitous cahoots that are obstructionists. Gatsby isn't part of the East Egg covenant, no. He can't be triumphant because he's not unscrupulous. Daisy doesn't love him. His money isn't abundant. He just doesn't have that kind of sustenance. I'm just the eyes that see through the valley of ashes. I'm not saying I agree. I'm only basing this off of social classes. I mean, I don't have all the facts, only enough to corroborate. Gatsby's dream is one of harrowing, not of East Egg's fate. He cannot reach the ladder. Will he make it to his soulmate? All my peeps out of East Egg, did you hear? All my peeps out of West Egg, did you hear? All the caravansaries that tread, did you hear? The gossip about Gatsby has caused a trend. Is it true? Is it fake? How does it blend? Will he get his dream and make amends? I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens in the end. Hello everyone, thank you for tuning back in after you saw my alter ego Lil Phelps, who was bringing you the tunes about Great Gatsby, okay? Since we're almost done with that book and we're doing some vocabulary, he brought you the tunes that included over 20 of the words, not all of them, but quite a few of them. So you're going to be working with those words as part of your homework assignment. So just to recap, you have the social media project and you have Chapter 8 reading guide. I did post the Course Hero video to help you if you need to. That reading guide will include questions, quotes, and vocabulary practice, okay? I'm not giving you a vocabulary quiz. You're just going to do the practice instead. But it's actually pretty cool. You get to select what you want to do. You can make like an AT list, like a really interactive AT list. You could write me a short story, you know, a journal entry, you know, a poem, a rap, which Lil Phelps might even come and rap it if you write one for him. All of those are options, so you're going to have fun with the vocab and make it fun, turn it in. That's your assignment. So in the novel, we're at Chapter 8. We just got done with Chapter 7, where we learn about the conflict of relationships. And this is where Tom knows about Gatsby and Daisy. Daisy's leaning towards her husband Tom, okay? Her love with Gatsby is starting to waver, okay? It's something of the past, and Gatsby's still fighting to win her love. So we see this dream kind of dying in Gatsby because we have Daisy starting to love Tom. Myrtle Wilson gets killed by Daisy in Gatsby's car. Nick notices that Gatsby has this sort of dead dream, and Gatsby still longs for Daisy, as I mentioned. So that's where we are. We'll see how it plays out next 2 chapters, and we're going to get a move on. We're almost done with the book, Chapter 8, and we'll see how it plays out, if Gatsby wins Daisy, or see what else happens. All right? So that about sums up English 11. Now we're going to go into English 10. All right, English 10. So this past week you just learned a little bit about Caesar through a web quest. Now we are going to start reading Act 1 of Julius Caesar. So the full act is about 20 or so pages, but I want you to take it in piece by piece because there's a lot that happens in each act. So you're going to learn more about Caesar, but primarily more about what happens to him and the government they try to develop from that. So I do post a Course Hero video for you as well. So there will be a Course Hero video posted. Those are there to help you. Now they won't be the end-all be-all. You still need to read to get a lot of the answers for the homework, especially the last page where I want you thinking about how the 5 big main ideas are presented within the act and how literary devices are used to present those ideas. So that's going to be the last page. You also have a summary like you've done with Ellen Foster on the first page, and the second page is going to be about characters and how the characters develop. Okay, so you're going to complete this worksheet. Additionally, I'm going to give you a worksheet on the 5 big ideas, and I want you to connect it to your life. I want you to find a real life symbol that represents these 5 ideas, and I want you to explain how you see that real life symbol in our world. Okay, so this is your way of connecting Julius Caesar and the ideas that happen in the book to our world. Okay, so those 2 worksheets are going to be for this week along with Act 1, and we're going to move right along. At some point in the future, I will have Julius Caesar on my show. Okay, he will be interviewed, and we will talk to him about his reign as a king and everything else you want to know. So get those questions ready. All right. So that just about sums English 10. Pretty good week getting into Julius Caesar, reading the Acts, getting going. And now, English 9. All right, English 9, you're kind of the class of the day today because we have Romeo coming on to be interviewed. Just want to kind of recap where we are. We're in the middle of Act 3. We read the first 3 scenes. We learned that Romeo kills Tybalt, okay? And then he gets banished from Verona. This is the climax. It's the highest point of tension in the text, okay? Because now Romeo is really torn between loving Juliet and his family, and he just caused this big misdemeanor in killing Tybalt, who is the family of Juliet, who he falls in love with. So now this creates an even bigger problem because he's banished, he loves Juliet still, but the Capulets really don't like Romeo. They didn't like him because he was a Montague, and now they like him even less because he killed one of their people. Okay? So it creates big tension. We're going to see how that plays out. You're going to finish the next 2 scenes, and you're also going to complete a worksheet for Shakespeare with Disney. Why? Because there's a lot of Disney movies that use aspects of Shakespeare within them. So I'm going to post my example of Lion King 2 and Shakespeare, because Lion King 2 is basically Romeo and Juliet. Okay, you're going to look at my example, and then you're going to get a worksheet, and it's going to ask you to choose one of the Disney movies that I'll have posted on a document and do a little research on it. I have some articles that show you what the research or what each movie is about, and then you're going to draw some comparisons. So obviously they're not going to connect directly like Romeo and Juliet and Lion King 2. They connect directly because Lion King 2 is basically Romeo and Juliet with animals. Okay. Now something like Cinderella, Pocahontas, Beauty and the Beast, they have aspects of Romeo and Juliet in them, but they're not going to connect directly. So like if you look at strong female characters, okay, we have Juliet, compare her to Belle from Beauty and the Beast, compare her to Mulan from Mulan, or compare her to Cinderella. So I want you to be thinking. Choose a movie that you like and be thinking about it. You also have family feuds, you know, or relationship feuds. So, you know, Belle and the Beast, compare that to Romeo and Juliet, you know, compare and see how they are. So these are all different scopes that you can look at the themes that happen in Romeo and Juliet and apply them to a Disney movie. So eventually this is going to turn into a slides presentation that you're going to make similar to mine. But right now we're just kind of doing the steps to get there, having you fill out a worksheet, looking to see what's similar. Okay? And then that's about it. Momentarily, we're going to have Romeo on the set. We're going to interview him, so hold your questions. We just got a couple messages first, and then we'll have Romeo on the set. So good day to y'all. We'll see Romeo and be back in a few minutes. Thank you.
Are you a secret agent who needs to go undercover? A spy? Or just a random person who is crashing a party but doesn't want to be noticed? Well, now you don't have to worry. Not with Invisimask. This special mask, made masquerade style, is the answer to your visibility. Just put it on, and instantly you will become invisible. Now you can sneak off to that Capulet party and not be seen at all. You can skip, you can dance, you can jump for joy. You can even play tricks on people like you're a ghost. All with Invisimask. Call now at 1-800-HIDE. That's 1-800-HIDE to get your Invisimask for just $39.95. $39.95. This is an offer you can't turn up. And if you call in the next 5 minutes, we'll give you a free set of glow-in-the-dark markers so you can decorate your mask in style. Call now at 1-800-HIDE. That's 1-800-HIDE. Invisimask. Going incognito in style.
So everyone, welcome back. I've got my man Romeo. He's coming right here, coming to the set. I got some interview questions for him. Let's all say hi to Romeo. Awesome. Take a seat. Take a seat. We got some coffee for you. You know, now you don't want coffee? All right, but take a seat. Take a seat. We got some great questions to ask you, okay? How you doing? Hello, Mr. Phelps. Nice to meet you. It's so great to be here. All right. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. How you doing? Awesome. So I want to welcome you to the Mr. Phelps Show, Romeo, where we bring literature to life, okay? Just like you being here, it's like life. You're coming back from who knows when, 1300s, Verona, Italy, and you're right here, right in front of us. We're interviewing you. It's so great, isn't it? So great. Bringing literature to life and coffee. Can't forget the coffee. So, tell me, how are you enjoying your time here so far? Like, you know, it's so glad to be here today. So it's a pleasure. I've always wanted to be on the Mr. Phelps Show. It's been one of my goals to bring my literature to life. So I'm happy to be here. And yes, I do know a thing or two about tragedy. So it's funny you use that joke. I do know this coronavirus isn't much different from the Black Plague that we had back in 1300s in Verona. So I'm aware of the procedures. I'm adjusting to them well here, and you know, it's just a pleasure to be here. Yeah. Yeah, coronavirus has dug everybody in. We're delegated to our houses, and I know how much you know tragedy. I mean, that's pretty evident. We all know that. Your story is a tragedy, unfortunately. You and Juliet, it's a long-lived metaphor, you know. You don't know how long you've been alluded to after your time. I mean, there's so many different allusions to Romeo and Juliet, your relationship together, that ended in tragic fate, way after your time. What's that supposed to mean? I know our love is highly contested. Our families are really at fault with each other, dueling with each other. Makes it a little complicated, but that's what I live for. You find something that you love, and you stick with it. You know, love is a powerful force, one of the most powerful things in the world. And she's the light beyond thy window breaks. You know, I love thee, and I won't ask for more than thee. So this is why we must be together. Well, you see, Romeo, what happened between you and Juliet, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, this whole tragedy. you know, the tragedy that's happened several times in literature. It's happened many different times. It just so happened to you. I'm not sure I understand. Again, I'm from the 1300s, Verona. What are you trying to tell me? That, you know, the story of our life has happened so many times before? Well, let me put it this way, okay? The movie Titanic, it's basically Romeo and Juliet. It just has different characters, a different ship, different families, but the same thing happens. I mean, the boat sinks just like your relationship, sad to say. And then you got Disney. I mean, take your stories and concepts and put them into their films, only they make it a happy ending instead of, like, you know, dying in the end. The happy ending, you know, they talk about happy ending, but no matter what, Juliet and I, she is a happy ending. You know, our relationship together is so powerful that no matter what, our love will be strong together. She is nothing short of a happy ending for me. Even if I end up dead because I've been thrown out of Verona and, you know, the Capulets come chasing back after me, nothing can stop our relationship. Yeah, you know, the one where you and Juliet aren't doomed from the beginning. I mean, that never happened, but I mean, we read the prologue, we know you're going to die, unfortunately. You know, I hate saying that, but, you know, this story has been written for, what, 700 years? So, it's no surprise. There was nothing we could do, but the point is that, you know, you look at a movie like The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, it has the same story of basically you and Juliet with lion cubs, you know, Kovu and Kiara, who fall in love, but instead of them dying in the end, together, their love carries them to reign in Pride Rock. Even after they fought wars against their families, they survived. So basically, we take the metaphor of you and Juliet, and we made a happy ending out of it in Lion King 2. So there's other examples, some happy, some tragic, but your metaphor's been long-lived. We know that, you know? Alright, I have no clue what you are talking about. I have never seen that play or that movie or whatever you are talking about. So please clarify this. And again, I'm come from 1300s Verona. Never mind, never mind. It's not something you understand, I guess. But hey, don't you normally speak in iambic pentameter? I mean, that's kind of how you perform, right? Oh, that's just a myth. You know, we only speak iambic pentameter in plays. If I spoke that exclusively, I don't know what I'd be doing. My head would be spinning and I wouldn't be able to communicate effectively. So it's a tough life, the theater. You have to be on cue all the time. You also need to know how to wield a sword. See? Oh, please, don't hurt me. You know, I'm just a talk show host. I'm nothing like, you know, I'm not a Capulet. No worries. I saved this to protect me. It's a shame I killed Tybalt and got banned from Verona. I know that's not the right thing to do, but, you know, I had to defend against Mercutio. I don't know if Juliet will ever forgive me. Oh, trust me. Trust me. She will. I had to do what I had to do. You know, I have two things that are at jeopardy here. Our relationship and my family. And Juliet's going to win in the end. We know it, but, you know, when I still get the chance to help my family out a little bit, I do so. But not in her name. I know you are tossed right between your family and Juliet. I know this is a very tough situation, especially being your age, but just remember, there are a lot of others out there, you know, a lot of other girls and women out there who aren't so doomed like Juliet, you know. You might want to look into that. Just like Benvolio told you, Rosalind isn't the only girl out there. Hey, you know, Juliet and I, we're lovers to the end. No matter what happens, no matter what tragedy may befall us, I won't let my Montague family tear us apart. I just won't. You know, it was only yesterday you said that you loved Rosalind, okay? that she was the emblem of your eyes. Now you love Juliet? How can you justify this? Like, how can we as readers really know that you're in love with this Juliet and that you're not in love with the idea of being loved? Because you just said the same thing about Rosalind, in Act 1 and now in Act 3, you're liking Juliet. I mean, it's tough to distinguish this. I did love Rosalind, but, then she didn't love me back. And then I saw Juliet, I laid eyes on her, and she became my true love. She was the light through yonder window breaks. And she was a beautiful angel, the most majestic silver earring. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? And no, this time I'm not using early modern English to talk about your name. I'm asking, where are you, daydreamer? Okay? Wake up, my friend. You're on screen here. Oh, sorry. Sometimes I just get talking into the play and I just go on, and I don't mean to. It's just I just start talking and reciting the play. You speak in too many metaphors, and well, how can we tell your love is truly sincere? Like, I've been talking about this. I mean, you loved Rosalind, and then you changed to Juliet so quickly. Can we really believe in this love? I've been mentioning it. I'm mentioning it again. Love works in mysterious ways, Mr. Phelps. Mysterious ways. So do tragedies. So do tragedies. You do have a point. You do have a point. But, I don't tend to think that everybody has a tragic downfall. You still gotta aim for what you love, even if you have that fate working against you, because you have to live your life and shoot for what you want. Just think, Romeo. Listen for a second, okay? There are plenty of women out there for you. But there's no one more beautiful out there than Juliet. Don't you think you should try for a girl who isn't part of your tragic downfall? I mean, this star-crossed lover thing, it's not fated to work, okay? You're thwarted by your names and your families, and the fact that she's married to Paris in a couple months doesn't give you much to go with, Certainly, you have options out there. There's no one more beautiful than she is. Oh, come on, Romeo, you're lovesick. Snap out of it. You'll die because of her, and I mean this literally. Nothing can stop us now, Mr. Phelps. Not even our families, not even death. I will sacrifice my name for her love. Our love, it's eternal. It's absolutely eternal. I won't stop for nothing until Juliet and I are together. Oh, geez. He really is lovesick, isn't he? Is she really worth dying for? Truly. For Juliet? Yes. Well, I do have an embarrassing TikTok video of you professing your love to Juliet through pretending you're in a play. I mean... Oh, that one? Why do you use modern music to go with a 1300s Verona play? I mean, it just doesn't fit, Just like your clothes, they don't fit you, You should be wearing more 1300s stuff. Anyway, I got this video. It's kind of a hoot. I mean, who wants to see it? All right. Maybe she will see it and come hither. Let it roll. You saved my life again, and I want you to know, baby, I love you like a love song, baby. I love you like a love song, baby. Well, that is interesting to say the least. You look a bit silly there. So, Romeo, is it true that Valentine's Day is your favorite holiday of all holidays? Valentine's Day? Where you write love letters to your loved ones and give them chocolates and all those good things like Saint Valentine. Have you even heard of that? Well, I did write a message for my Juliet. It goes like this. But soft, what light yonder
through thy window
All right,
breaks.
Romeo.
It is
Romeo.
the east, and
Have a good
Juliet
day now, and
is the
thank you
sun.
for watching. Thank
Arise,
you for
fair
watching.
sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief.
Oh no, what have I started here?
That thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do.
And welcome back to the Mr. Phelps Show. I'm sorry to cut off our guest Romeo, but he got into an acting trance and just wouldn't stop talking. Now I'm back to say thank you for watching the Mr. Phelps Show. Tune in next time. Thank you. Thank you.